Scratchnapped Adventure. It's a spin-off of Scratchnapped, but it's unique in its own right. With its creative levels, creative platforming, and its fast and fluid controls, the game was very attractive to casual Scratch gamers. But it wasn't just for casuals, it also caught the eyes of the Scratch speedrunning community. Over the years, speedrunners would break the game to its core. They found many insane tricks that required perfection to the frame. The game was pushed to its absolute limits. It started with a decent run, with decent movement and platforming, but that runner would never expect how much the game was squeezed to drop each millisecond into each runner's juicy hands. In 2019, the first run of Scratchnapped Adventure was completed by Runs 2. It was fairly unoptimized, but you can consider it remarkable as it started the whole rabbit hole that is Scratchnapped Adventure speedrunning. But at the time, the runner couldn't share his accomplishment as it did not have an SRC leaderboard. Aww. Eventually, in 2020, a leaderboard was created. In the same year, an actual decent run was completed by your BX Double, with a time of 1:53. With this clean movement used to save a significant amount of time compared to the competition, then only being Runs 2, he was doing pretty well. With cleaner movement alone, he managed to take the world record by a landslide. Well, he did use some smaller tricks such as sliding down slopes to gain speed, but other than that, he was taking the world record pretty easily with just extraordinary movement and a dream. Over the year of 2020, many runners got pretty close to his record, with the closest one being Jump with a 1:55. But the world record wasn't actually taken until the next year, by a runner by the name of King Yeti. While he had a measly 2:05 the year before, he managed to climb the leaderboards shortly after. His next run being a 1:55, massive improvement, I know. Now he was sitting pretty comfortably in the top 5. In the next run, he completed only being 200 milliseconds under the record. And finally, on April 28th, 2021, he did it. Finally! Justice was served! But doesn't a second improvement seem pretty difficult without the inclusion of extra shreds to save some time? Yeah, I'd say so. So, he decided to use a frame-perfect jump to get past the plant in level 2 to save about a second. Yeah, so convenient. Now it's important to mention that these runs are actually 1 second slower than they could have been, as they could have used Turbo Warp, a Scratch emulator. While I am not sure if Scratch emulators were allowed before this, I know they became allowed at this point. In short, this gave the game faster load times, and this is how the 1:51 barrier was broken. Well, using this new trick used in King Yeti's previous run, not mentioned here, on Scratchnapped.education, it has now been transferred to a 1:51 on Turbo. Level 3 plant jump! While being a similar concept to level 2 plant jump, the execution is quite different. Let me show you what I mean. See, you have to jump twice. Very different, I know. But in all seriousness, the first jump has to be timed correctly to hit the tip of the block and latch onto it. You latch onto blocks when you hit the top of them, if you didn't know. Then you have to jump off that before the plant kills you. This was a great run, but could this be improved further? Well, yes, look at how much time there is left on this video. With a fellow runner of the game by the name of Memesbro asking if a 150 is possible, this is an understandable question. Fast airs! Although incredibly inconsistent without the more recently discovered setup, this didn't stop runs. With a very clean level 2 and level 3, along with this beast of a level 1, a 150 was achieved. The incredible movement used in this run meant this would never be improved, right? Yeah, there's another one. Using a precise slope boost, fast wall jump between the brick blocks, and playing cleanly everywhere else, this made it possible to get a full 22 on the timer upon beating level 2. This was discovered by Memesbro, runner mentioned earlier. This made it possible to get a mid 150, and it may be even low 150. Well, let's see Memesbro use his trick and achieve such, shall we? He improved record by 1 frame. Yeah, he said in his description that he needed a cleaner level 3, so I guess that's the culprit. Now let's see this be improved even more by Jump or something. Nope, King Yeti. 7 months later, using the same strats as Memesbro, he managed to beat Memesbro by 100 milliseconds. Pretty good. Let's just wait another half a year and see what happens. Just an hour and a half later, Jump beat him. It only took an hour and a half? Well, let's just look at the time. It's probably just another frame improvement again. What? It was improved by 566 milliseconds? On top of this was his first run in 2 years. He was more on the tasking scene, to be fair. Anyway, let's cut to the chase. There may be something I haven't particularly mentioned. There was a new trick discovered. It swipes the difficult... It swipes the difficulty of even level 3 plant jump. Glitchy wall climb. A glitch he discovered while he was working on his 100% task, a tool-assisted run of a side category. Using the quick turn glitch possible by quickly swapping between left and right, you can climb the wall. By this point, this was implemented in the world record, but sadly he didn't get a 1-4x, a new 10-second burial. But if you actually watch the run, you may realize something. He didn't use fast 2 or fast stairs in his run. This made King Yeti, but also another top tier runner named Run123 that has recently climbed the leaderboards thing. This was the race for 149. Run123 started with a 150.6. He had an equivalent of a 150 before, but he didn't know about Turbo Warp back then. Oh wait, King Yeti already got the first 149. This may seem funny, but this could have gone the other way. See, Ren123 did make it past GWG and pace before, but he missed level 3 plant jump. Plant jump is actually not that crazy for top tier runners by now, at least in the traditional sense. You see, doing GWG is actually more inconsistent. Since it gives you a random X position value, you essentially have to get lucky on exactly how you do the glitchy wall climb. No one cares, but good job to King Yeti. Video done. Wait, there's still more to cover. Look at the time left of the video. Run123 was on call with the top tier Super Mario Bros. And Red Ball Run speedrunner Element, and he was complaining about the very thing I just talked about. Well, out of spite, he decided to see for himself. He started with a 152, a fairly decent time. Now he eventually started implementing the GWJ, then the same thing happened to him. Unlike Run123, he kept his pace, eventually got a 149. A 149.7 to be specific. Then boom! After getting fairly deep into the game and its community, he got a low 149. Still not the second barrel, but it was only 3 frames off of it. More runs, 149 flat? The game scammed him. Yeah, whatever. Keep going. Wait, pause. Before his 149 flat, he had discovered a new GWJ strat, a one that was faster but also easier. This one was done by holding left and timing pressing right perfectly. Isn't that nice? Well, would a 148 also happen with this new strat? Yes, and by a lot actually. From a 149 flat to a 148.833. It was slightly slower at the end of level 2, but he still managed to beat his previous PB by so much. The performance of his GWJ was so clean that it striked 148 by a long shot. Well, it's a long shot for speedrunning.
That's a back-to-back run. And recording 3 times. There's no way it's a 148. There's no way. No. There's no way that's a 148.8. There's no way. No. What? No. I refuse to believe it. There's no way.
This isn't the end of the story though. A player by the name of Mikey JD managed to have his PB be slower than him by a single frame. He went from a 152 to a 151 to a faster 151 and skipping 150 to a high 149. Then, without even getting a faster 149, he managed to snatch 148 by a frame. Then here we are. He now has a 148.867. Mikey JD, world record. Win world record. Win, tell me, comment now, right now. If you don't comment, I'll actually be mad. Comment the freaking thing. You better go back to sessions. You better get the freaking world record, okay?